Lesson 1. A. Maharjan lives in a slum on the Sirajganj Town Protection Embankment. Her polythene roofed shelter looks like a cage. She is nearly 45 but looks more than her age. In front of her shelter, she is trying to make a fire to cook the day's only meal. Her weak hands tremble as she adds some fallen leaves and straw to the fire. The whispering wind from the river Jamuna makes the fire unsteady. The dancing flames remind Maharjan of the turmoil in her life. Not long ago, Maharjan had everything: a family, cultivable land, and cattle. The erosion of the Jamuna gradually consumed all her landed property. It finally claimed her only shelter during the last monsoon. It took the river only a day to devour Maha's house, trees, vegetable garden, and the bamboo bush. She had a happy family once. Over the years, she lost her husband and her family to diseases that cruel hunger and poverty brought to the family. Now, she is the only one left to live on with the loss and the pain. The greedy Jamuna has shattered her dreams and happiness. There are 1,000 others waiting to share the same fate like Maharjan. Bangladesh is a land of rivers, some of whose banks overflow or erode during monsoon. Erosion is a harsh reality for the people living along the river banks. During each monsoon, many more villages are threatened by the mighty rivers like the Jamuna, the Padma, and the Meghna. It is estimated that river erosion makes at least 100,000 people homeless every year in Bangladesh. In fact, river erosion is one of the main dangers caused by climate change. If we can't take prompt actions to adapt to climate change, there will be thousands of more Maharjans in our towns and villages every year. Lesson 2. B. Bangladesh is now in the grip of all sorts of pollution like air pollution, soil pollution, and water pollution. The dwellers of the urban areas are the worst sufferers of such pollution. The indiscriminate industrialization process in Bangladesh over the past decades has created significant environmental problems. We will now read about some of the most common types of environmental pollutions and ways of coping with them. Air pollution. Air pollution comes from a wide variety of sources. In Bangladesh, poisonous exhausts from industrial plants, brick kilns, older poorly serviced vehicles, and dust from roads and construction sites are some of the major sources of air pollution. We can minimize this type of pollution by making less use of motor vehicles and avoiding the use of vehicles older than 20 years. We may also use proper lubricants to lessen the level of emission and pollutants. We can encourage people to use compressed natural gas (CNG) or liquid petroleum gas (LPG) for fueling their cars. The government may relocate hazardous industries like brick kilns to areas away from human habitations. Water pollution. Water pollution can occur in oceans, rivers, lakes, ponds, and underground reservoirs. As different water sources flow together, the pollution can spread easily and quickly. Causes of water pollution include increased sediment from soil corrosion, improper waste disposal and littering, leakage of soil pollution into water supplies, organic materials that decay in water supplies. In fact, polluting the land means polluting the water. Throwing away a toxic substance on the ground near a water source means it eventually reaches the body of water. As a result, the water is polluted. Industrial wastes must not be disposed in rivers or lakes. We need to be more careful about disposing household wastes too. Use of pesticide means that when it rains, chemicals used in the lawn or garden wash into the water bodies. Therefore, we must be aware of the dangers of using pesticide. They may pollute our rivers, canals and lakes. Soil pollution. Among the most significant causes of soil pollution is the enormous volume of industrial waste which is being produced every day but not disposed properly. The mismanagement of household wastes, particularly the polythene shopping bags, has caused serious threat to the soil and the drainage system. Another cause for soil pollution is the use of agricultural pesticide, fertilizer, etc. Sometimes fuel leakages from automobiles may get washed away by rain and seep into the nearby soil. Pesticide and fertilizer are useful for plant growth, but their overuse has led to soil pollution. Natural fertilizer and compost can be used instead of their chemical alternatives. Recycling is another way to reduce and control soil pollution. Recycling papers, plastics and other materials reduces the volume of refuse in landfills. Deforestation also causes corrosion, pollution and the loss of fertility in the topsoil. Planting trees and reforestation help prevent soil erosion and pollution. Lesson 3. A. Humans can neither change the sun's radiation nor the Earth's orbit around the sun. But they can control the increase in the amount of greenhouse gases and its effect on the atmosphere. Only during the last 100 years the carbon dioxide concentration has been raised alarmingly in the atmosphere, and we humans can be held responsible for this. The main cause of the increase in carbon dioxide level in the atmosphere is the burning of fossil fuels. Since the end of the 19th century, industrial activities increased rapidly, giving rise to many factories. These factories required energy, which was produced through the combustion of coal. Besides coal, other sources of energy such as mineral oil and natural gas were also burned to heat our houses, run cars and airplanes, or to produce electricity. Nowadays, about 85 million barrels of crude oil are burned daily. Every time a fossil raw material is burned, it releases carbon dioxide into the air. Therefore, it is clear that more and more greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide are being generated worldwide by humans. Moreover, we are also strengthening the greenhouse effect by deforestation, which means cutting down trees. Every year enormous areas of forests are destroyed by people to obtain wood and to clear regions for mining and to create pasture. This loss of the forest causes dual problems. Trees that are burned up release large volumes of carbon dioxide gas into the air. On the other hand, as forests absorb a lot of carbon dioxide from the air and deliver oxygen instead, we also destroy an important storehouse of carbon dioxide when we clear forests. Lesson 4. C. Fish population is in serious danger from global warming. Climate change is increasing the water temperature in rivers, lakes and seas. This means there is less food and oxygen available for fish. It also means the fish may not grow fully and may have fewer offsprings. Some fishes will become extinct if temperatures rise even by 1 or 2 degrees Celsius. Climate change increases the pressure on fish population. Fishes are one of the world's most valuable biological assets. 40% of people in the world eat fish as their main source of protein. If we fail to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, we will increase the pressure on fish. As a result, people who depend on fish will suffer from hunger and poverty. Lesson 5. B. Let's save our planet. Everyone must play a part in protecting the environment. There are many things you can do on your own every day to help save the planet. Here are some suggestions. Reduce. Really, the best thing we can do for the planet is to use its resources properly. Our consumer society is mainly responsible for the environmental crisis. Here are some questions you can ask yourself before buying something. Do I really need this, or is there another product which would do the same thing but is more sustainable? Or the question, will this last a long time? Some other questions may be, do I know how this item was made, how it will be used and how it will be disposed of? Reuse. What do you think of using your own ceramic cup or mug at your madrasa or local club? It means there are no plastic cups to throw away. You can wash it and reuse it every day. Unfortunately, we are encouraged to buy a new, improved item even if the one we have can be repaired or reused. When we buy things, we should buy those that are durable, we should use them properly, and have them repaired when necessary. If we practice this, many things will not only last a lifetime, but also be passed on for future use. However, if something is truly unusable for its original purposes, try to be more creative and think of how else it might be used. When you're done with it, think of whether someone else might be able to use it. You can donate some of the things to the poor. You may also sell some of your used items through personal ads in a local newspaper. Recycle. Rather than throwing an item out when neither you nor anyone else can make use of it, have it recycled. And if recycling is not possible, it is better to send goods to a landfill or have them burned up. Find out what types of materials can be recycled in your area. Clean and sort the materials before putting them out in the bin. Recycling your drink and food cans means there will be less trash in a resource recovery facility or landfill. Moreover, a company can use the old cans to make new ones.